In the US, if you get in a car accident, most people just exchange information and wait for a phone call from the insurance carriers. In Mexico, your insurance adjuster will actually drive to the crash scene before you leave. And in some provinces in Canada, your insurance pays regardless of fault. Same accident, completely different system. Hi, my name is Michael. I'm with Mac Insurance, and I have been in the industry for 14 years, and I try to help people better understand their insurance. Now, a lot of people assume insurance works the same everywhere, and it doesn't. The way a claim is handled can completely change depending on the country you're in, the laws there, and even the culture around the insurance. And honestly, some countries handle certain situations, in my opinion, better than others. So I wanted to talk to you about how an auto insurance claim works with our neighbors to the north and to the south, because the differences are actually pretty interesting. So in the United States, I believe most of us have a basic understanding of how our auto insurance works. You get in an accident, you exchange information, maybe take a few photos, file a police report if needed, and then you get a call afterwards from the insurance company, typically the insurance adjuster. The adjusters review the damage, liability gets investigated, then your car gets scheduled for repair later. The claim nowadays is usually handled remotely after the accident. That's normal in the US, but not every country does it that way. In Mexico, auto claims work very differently. In some situations, you're expected to stay at the scene while the insurance carrier sends an adjuster directly to the accident. The adjusters may review the vehicles involved in the accident, help determine fault, coordinate towing, help settle things immediately, or bail you out of jail until liability can be determined, because yes, that is how things are done down there. Instead of waiting days for calls and paperwork, a lot of the process starts right there at the scene. And honestly, for certain claims, that can actually speed things up a bit. But it also means that the adjuster plays a much bigger role immediately after the accident compared to the US system. Now, in Canada, in some parts of the country, it could be really interesting. They use what's called a no-fault insurance system. And people hear no fault and misunderstand it immediately. It doesn't mean nobody is responsible. Fault can still be determined, but it usually means that your own insurance company handles your medical bills and certain damages first, regardless of who caused the accident. So imagine the exact same crash. Same damage, same injuries, same situation. In the US, multiple insurance companies may argue over who's at fault. In parts of Canada, your own insurer may step in much faster under no-fault rules. You get your medical bills paid, you get your car repaired faster than you would at a fault system like here in the US. The process feels completely different, even though the accident can be identical. And depending on the province, the laws may be different also. That's another thing people don't really realize, is that insurance is different, not just country to country, but it can also be state to state, or in Canada's case, province to province. The interesting part isn't just that insurance is different, it's why. Every country builds insurance systems around local laws, different cultures, healthcare systems, fraud risk, population density, repair costs, and that's why there's no one universal insurance model. What works in one country may not work in another. A claim system that feels normal in Mexico might feel strange in the US, and a system that works in Canada may not make sense in the US either, or anywhere else. And that's really a big takeaway. The exact same accident can lead to different claim process, different payouts, different timelines, and even different legal responsibilities, depending on where it happens. And once you start learning about how insurance works in other parts of the world, you realize that maybe our system could use some tweaking. Insurance seems boring until you compare it internationally. Then you realize there's no single normal way to handle claims. Every country has its own system, its own priorities, and its own ways of managing risk. And honestly, some differences are pretty wild. So what system would you prefer? You prefer the Canadian no-fault system, the US at-fault system, or the Mexican system where an adjuster comes out to handle claims almost immediately? And if you're ever curious about receiving a quote from us, please feel free to reach out to us at our social media, Facebook and Instagram, Mac Insurance Inc., or our website, macinsuranceinc.com. We hope you guys have a great one. Take care.